Right everyone, I have a very special video for you all today. Are you sick of timing out and losing mirror matches with your GL Rays? If so, then you're really going to enjoy today's video, in which I'm going to teach you all how to win almost any mirror match with your GL Ray team. It gets even better as this team is very reliable. I've never lost a match with it unless I've made a direct mistake or not played the battle fast enough. You do need to be quick and not waste time, as if you play slow you could potentially still time out. Most battles are won in roughly 3 to 4 minutes, but with errors this can get pretty close, so be sure not to waste any time when you're doing the battle. So starting up as always, we're going to quickly go through the mods and zetas this team needs to work. The good news is you only really need GL Ray and GAC to be max relic. The rest of the team will work perfectly at gear 12 or even under. As you can see, my Wat Tambor is only gear 9, and while it would be nice to have him geared a little higher so he can get more than one tech off before he dies, it does not affect the results at all. This team's goal is to boost and support GL Ray and GAC so they can slowly work together to take out the opposing team. I'd also like to quickly mention you do not need GL Ray's ultimate ability, even when fighting against one. It has no effect on the outcome of this battle whatsoever, so you don't need to worry if you don't have it and are fighting enemy teams that do. So for the zetas, we're going to need all 6 of GL Rays. I'm not going to go into too much detail as to what these do, as I'm assuming anyone using her in Arena would have these done anyway. We're also going to need Wat Tambor's zeta, which is going to allow him to take a bonus turn at the start of the battle. In addition, we're going to need the zeta on GAC's basic, which will make his second attack deal more damage. You'll also need his chosen one unique, which is going to be key in reducing the opposing Ray's max health in the later parts of the battle. I also forgot to mention that to my knowledge, this team will work against any composition of GL Ray teams. It does not matter who they run with her, so this is a very amazing all-round counter for mirror matches. I would also strongly recommend getting both Oh My Goodness on 3PO and Hermit Yoda's Strength Flows Through the Force setters. 3PO is going to inflict some confuse on his mass assist attack, which can be nice, and Hermit Yoda's will allow his third ability to heal protection, have a 1 turn shorter cooldown, and give GAC some foresight, which is very useful in supporting our team. So next up we're going to talk about the mods, which honestly are not bad at all. First of all is our GL Ray, who we have modded with 3 health sets with health on all primaries where possible, including her arrow. Most of her damage is going to be coming from Whirlwind, so we really don't have to worry about giving her any boost to her damage. We managed to reach 501 total speed, which is a great achievement without a speed arrow. Up next is our GAC, who is modded with a crit damage and crit chance set as usual, with a total of 282 speed. We have focused purely on speed, crit damage and offense in his secondaries to make sure he's dealing as much damage as possible, as he's going to be the team's main consistent damage dealer while we're waiting for Ray's Whirlwind to be off cooldown between uses. Wat Tambor is up next, modded with a speed and health set. Personally, mine's too low gear to make it past the first tech being used, regardless of what I do, but if you have him geared higher, having him fast and a little harder to kill is going to help you massively. I managed to reach a total of 255 speed on him with a very average group of mods. His zeta will make him go first anyway, so you don't need to worry too much regardless. Next up is our Hermit Yoda, who we have modded with a speed set and a tenacity set. There's absolutely no reason for using a tenacity set on him, I just have 2 pretty decent mods that needed a home. The only thing you need to focus on with him is speed, as he's going to be stealth for most of the battle with 100% evasion from his unique, so outside of the odd mark, if the opposing team has a Jedi Knight Revan, he won't be taking any damage at all. Finally is our 3PO, who similar to the previous 2 characters is modded for speed. I also have a potency set on him for other uses outside of this team. I managed to get him to a total of 225 speed, which isn't even that good, but it's more than good enough for this team to work. In all honesty, the non-attackers on this team are not modded that fast at all, but that just shows you don't need super fast speeds on them for this team to work, which gives this team even more credit in my opinion. Okay, so moving on to the actual battle, this first match is against a non-ultimate GL Ray with high relics on the entire team. This battle will be a lot faster than when we're fighting against an ultimate, as the ultimate ability does cause a lot of stalling. So as you can see everyone, the first thing we do is place the third tech onto our GL Ray, which is going to grant a 15% turn meter whenever an enemy takes a turn. This is important as it's going to allow Ray to keep up with stacking lifeblood on GAC to make sure he's not able to be killed by the opposing Whirlwind, as well as speeding up the activation of our own Whirlwinds, which is how we're going to take out the majority of the enemy team throughout the battle. The first Master's Training from Hermit Yoda should be given to GAC, as it's much more beneficial to his stats given he has the Jedi tag. It will make him hit a lot harder while also increasing his defense, making him a lot harder to take out. Stacking lifeblood on GAC is the main thing to focus on throughout the battle. As mentioned, by doing this constantly is going to be next to invincible even to the enemy Ray's Whirlwind. While doing this, your second goal is to proc your GL Ray below 60% health so she can use her own Whirlwind. After this, be sure to use Hermit Yoda's heal to put her back above the threshold so you can start preparing another Whirlwind. This is the key method of the battle. Be sure to prioritise keeping GAC stacked with significant bonus protection over using Whirlwind though. Finding a perfect balance will become clear once you've played this team a little, as there is a small learning curve. The most annoying teams have a combination combination of Watt, Jedi Knight Revan and GK, this prolongs the battle massively as you're forced to go through GK twice due to Saviour. When played properly though, you'll still absolutely destroy these teams, especially the ones without the ultimate like this fight right now. If you're unlucky though, like I was in this battle, Whirlwind can sometimes leave GK in the red, which means you'll have to wait an additional turn for the damage immunity to wear off before you can proc Saviour. Try to avoid this if possible by dealing some damage to GK with gas beforehand, but sometimes this is unavoidable. It will generally take 2 Whirlwinds to get Kenobi down in this scenario. Once GK is finally down, you should next finish off Watt if AoEs haven't taken him out already. Do not waste a Whirlwind killing him though, as he won't be receiving any boosts from their GL Rey given he's a dark side character, so killing him should not take long at all once Kenobi is out of the picture. Your next Whirlwind after killing GK should be going on Gas. He's the next biggest threat to our team and needs to be taken out before we can start working on their Rey. Just focus all damage on him at this point and wait for the next Whirlwind to be off cooldown. Sometimes though, if you're lucky, you can kill Gas off without Whirlwind with your own Gas. It's always important where possible to target the character you're planning to Whirlwind next with Gas to remove as much lifeblood as possible off them. This massively increases your chances of one-shotting them without leaving them below 50% health and having to wait for damage immunity to expire before you can kill them off. At times though, as mentioned before, this is unavoidable unfortunately. After Gas is down, you're going to want to ignore Jedi Knight Revan as he's not really a threat on his own and has no real synergy with GL Rey. Focus all your damage on taking Rey out at this point. This should not take long as she's already going to be in a weakened state from stacking so much lifeblood. Between your GL Rey and Gas, this should be very easy at this point. So up next, we're going to fight the exact same team composition, but this time Rey has her ultimate ability. As mentioned earlier, this is going to make the fight take a lot longer as her ultimate ability practically gives the entire team consistent damage immunity for one turn whenever it's used. It's important during these periods of damage immunity not to waste any damaging specials as they won't have any effect whatsoever. So if you have a Whirlwind ready and the opposing Rey uses her ultimate, be sure to save it until after her next turn. If you can get around taunts, use the time during her ultimate ability to take out Wat Tambor, as because he's not light side, he will not receive the turn of damage immunity when GL Rey uses her ultimate. So if GK is already out at this point, this is the absolute perfect time to focus down Wat before he can give out more tech to the opposing team. Outside of this though, the battle will play exactly the same. Your goals remain the same as when fighting a non-ultimate GL Rey. Just focus down GK first, then Wat and Gas, then GL Rey, and leave Jedi Knight Revan until the end. When fighting against ultimate GL Reys, time is of the essence. When I first started using this team, I used to take my time and think more about my actions, and this was the reason I was timing out. You really need to get to the point where you can make the right decisions fast with this team, as too many pauses will make timing out a real possibility. So if you try out this team and initially time out from time to time, don't worry about it, especially if it's close. As you use the team more, you'll get a lot faster with your decisions and end up finishing the battle with roughly 1 minute to spare. So I haven't talked too much about 3PO yet, and that's because he's here mostly for the boosts he provides to GL Rey and Gas. His unique abilities provide a range of stat boosts to both of these factions, including crit damage increases, defense penetration, and additional protection up stacks for Gas. In addition to this, he'll be granting his translation buff, which grants additional bonuses, but the key one is for the first stack, which grants each character it's on 30% max health, which is amazing for keeping Gas from being taken out. As well as this, he'll be calling Gas and GL Rey to assist from time to time, and being relatively safe himself due to his consistent stealth. So same as before, once Gas is down, we're going to focus on GL Rey and ignore Revan. Now when I first started using this team, I used to try and kill Jedi Knight Revan first, and this was another reason I was timing out. Wat tends to give him the first tech, which gives him crazy health and protection regeneration. That combined with constant lifeblood and damage immunity turns, makes focusing him down very time consuming. It's much more efficient to remove GL Rey at this point, which stops the ultimate and additional bonus protection for Jedi Knight Revan from lifeblood, making it a lot easier to kill him once GL Rey is down. So I was initially going to end the footage here and show my opponent's mods, but I noticed a relic new Luke in a team this morning and decided to give it a try and show you all. Honestly, I'm not impressed, and for anyone worried that he was going to make GL Rey comps harder to take out in mirror matches, you don't need to worry at all based on this battle. I found him very underwhelming outside of his AoE stun, which did slow me down a little. This Luke does not have his Zeta but is Relic 4. I really don't see how a little more speed on him will make any difference though, so I wouldn't worry about that fact either. He's very average in this lineup in my opinion and won't provide any issues for you all using this counter. I honestly feel like he's a lot easier to deal with in this lineup than when we were fighting the Jedi Knight Revan comps, as we can blast through GK a lot easier. As for Luke overall, I find him very underwhelming and not worth the investment at this point in time. 9 relic characters for a subpar character is a joke. I'll probably get him eventually, but I'm for sure not dropping any of my crystal stash towards him unless some sort of new activity or character comes out that makes him a lot better. If he had the same requirements as previous journey type events, I would be much more happier with him as a character. Next up, as promised everyone, I'm going to quickly show you all of the mods of the teams I was fighting. They'll be shown in the same order as the battles, so be sure to keep that in mind when comparing results. And that's all for today everyone. I really hope you all enjoyed this video and learned a thing or two for winning mirror matches. This lineup will turn your daily climb into a breeze when going up against a wall of GL Reys with your own. One thing to keep in mind though is this variant is easily countered by my Jedi Knight Revan lead counter as shown in previous videos, so it's not very reliable for defense as it would be very easy for an opponent to switch out and take you out without much effort. If you want to see my Jedi Knight Revan counter in action, be sure to click the link in the top right corner of the screen now. Outside of this lineup, standard mirror matches are an absolute nightmare as you probably already know. It gets very hard towards the end and more times than others ends up in frustrating draws. As long as you're fast, this will not happen with this team and your daily arena climbs will be a lot less stressful for the time being. As always everyone, please remember to like the videos, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell, join my Discord server and share the video with your friends. Thanks for watching everyone and I'll see you all very soon.